some sleight of hand tricks.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another Ride Along with Goggles tutorial. And I've done this before, but this is how I set up my OBS Studio to record my whatever I'm trying to put out, whether it's how to skin something or gameplay or my daily videos or a live stream, whatever. It's how I set up OBS Studio to do that. Now, I am the least expert guy in OBS Studio probably on the planet. But, well, maybe if you don't know anything about it, you're second, you're right behind me. But I'm going to try and get you up to where I am, which is enough to get results. And that's all that really matters to me. I don't really have the time to dive into the weeds and figure everything out about it. All I know is what works for me, and it's been a lot of trial and error to get here because I've watched a ton of different videos over the years, and some of them were good and some of them were, well, they were pointless. And I'm not naming names or pointing fingers because that's also pointless, but I'm just going to show you what I do that works, and I'm going to try and keep it short and simple because I'm not going to try and explain the things I don't understand, and that would be ridiculous. And I'm just going to show you what I use. So number one, let's look at the settings. And this is where it all begins. In general, I don't think I've changed anything in general. As far as I know, all of this is as is. So once again, as we go through here, you can pause or take a screenshot or whatever you want to do, and I'll try and give you time to do that. Because once again, I'm not saying what I have is the best, but if you're stuck, you can try this and use it as your point to go forward, which is kind of what I've done. I found various settings that people recommend, whatever. I got to a point where I could do a video, and I've upgraded my graphics card several times, and that's led to further changes because as your graphics card is better, you can put out a better video and you can turn up some of the settings. So this is where I am based on my graphics card, which is a AMD RX 7900 XT from, what are they called? XTX, I think. Anyway, it's a pretty good card, so it allowed me to do better videos. Anyway, let's quit blathering and show you what we got. So this is the default settings I have. You want to screenshot that? Feel free. And we'll go to appearance. I haven't changed anything here that I'm aware of. Theme is Yummy. I think that's what everybody uses. Font size is 10, whatever, normal, yada, yada. It's pretty simple. Stream. So this is important if you're going to stream. And I stream on YouTube, so I have my YouTube RTMPS. And you can do Twitch, custom. There's a whole list of them. So whatever you're doing, you might be able to find it in here. And if that's what you're looking for, you may need to find a different video if you want to find out specifically how those work. In the server is the primary YouTube ingest server. Backup YouTube. I guess if it failed, you could always switch. But anyway, that's what I use. My account is me. So... and you can disconnect it. I ignore streaming service setting recommendations. And those actually look pretty good. I think the only thing I have different, I think I have 60,000 kilobits here. And was it 240? We'll see when we get into the audio bit rate. So that's probably pretty generous right there. And I think it's based on maybe they sense my internet or whatever. I got gigabit. Anyway, that's streaming. Pretty simple. Output. Streaming, once again, is by default one track. FM, and because I'm using this right now, I can't show you the options here, but you'll see them in these drop downs. Is you won't be streaming when you're going through these settings and you have these drop downs active. So, and I could get these ones because I'm not using these while I'm doing a recording. So that's the encoder settings for streaming. But anyway, FF MPEG AAC. That's a mouthful. Might have had that for breakfast once. Oh no, that was alphabets. Anyway, we have video encoder. Yeah, I have AMD cards, so I'm using this AMD H265, which is their latest and greatest. As when I set this up, who knows what's available now. Rescale output is disabled because my output is 2560 by 1440, which is my monitor size. So that's essentially 2K. Control of CBR. Bitrate, I have 30,000 K for streaming. You're going to want to start real low if you have a, and you know, maybe you can do a private stream with somebody to test. You could, there's a lot of recommendations are, you don't need more than 9K or put it at 2,500, whatever. But I'm happy with 30K. Works fine. Quality preset. There's 3, I believe. Quality, balanced, and speed. Speed is going to give you a fairly grainy image, but it's going to allow you to have your, stutters and whatever else are a minimum, that it's a smooth presentation. And the better your internet is, the higher that can be, as far as my understanding of it is. Anyway, let's get on to recording. And if you're making videos, this is important. Once again, I'm just using one channel. I've tried the multiple channel recordings and having the mic on a different channel, and I found it way more work than is necessary. And then when you get into doing your editing of your video, you're going to have to, fine tune the final setting there anyway on multiple channels instead of just one. And so I've learned to balance my game volume and my mic volume so that one channel is just fine, and it's simpler. Type standard. Yeah, I don't have an option because I'm obviously recording. MKV. This recording format of MKV is kind of important, and there's you can remux your output to MPEG or MP4, and I'll show you that. And you have to do that to do your YouTube video. But in this recording format, if I was recording this video right now and it all of a sudden something failed, I would have the video up until this point. And then when I want to finish it and record the rest of it, I would have this and then my new recording, and I could put them together in the editor software. And so if you have MP4 selected here and it failed before the recording is done, it's gone. No recording. So you just, I should see, where is that? Is it video? No. Advanced. Right here. So advanced, you would go here to recording, automatically remux to MP4. Have that turned on. We'll get back to that. So by using the MKV here, when I finish my recording, as soon as I hit stop recording, the little screen appears on there, little progress bar goes by, and it shows that it's remuxing from MKV to MP4, and it's going to my save location automatically. So yeah, don't hesitate to use MKV. It saved me a couple times. So, I mean, if your system's working reliably, not a biggie. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Audio encoder, once again, same as streaming. FF MPEG AAC. One channel. Rescale output is disabled. So we don't have to worry about this setting here. It doesn't matter. If I was going to rescale it to 1920 by 1080, I don't know why I would. I just leave it at the 2560 by 1440, which is my monitor. Actually, the monitor we're looking at right here, I think it might be the same. I'm on my secondary monitor. We'll get to that in the settings. Encoder settings here. This is important stuff. So I use this CBR. It's something, not cyclical. It's something bitrate. CBR is fine. I think we can do the drop down. Yeah, this is a quality one. And you get more options if you select that. And I'm not going to click on anything here right now because I am recording. And at the end of the day, now people tell you, oh yeah, I use this one, and you go between here and you set the speed there and your minimum here, whatever. At the end of the day, I've gone back to this. I used to use that. I used to know a little bit more about it. But nah, this works fine for me. Get reasonable results. Bitrate, I have it at 60K, 60,000 kilobits per second. Works good. Key frame rate interval. Everybody says use 2 seconds. So I use 2 seconds and don't see why I wouldn't. Can't argue for it one way or the other. And the preset here is quality over balanced or speed. Once again, I think we saw that with the streaming. Same deal. So that's it. Going to audio, and here we're using, I have my desktop audio and my mic audio, and they're called, track 2 and 3. That's, oh yeah, it's not 240, it's 224 I'm using. So, and here you just, you would type the name in here. So when you put mic here, you could put microphone, whatever. I type that in. And when you're setting it up. So if you just want to take a screen grab of that, that's how simple it can be. Doesn't need to be more complicated. Replay buffer, don't have it enabled. Not sure why I would use it. Somebody could explain that. But once again, just looking at what I do and the results I get. Audio, the sample rate shows 48. The other option, I believe, is at 41. In channel stereo instead of mono. The desktop audio, I'm using my Logitech 5.1 drivers in my PC because I have a Logitech 5.1 speaker system here. Then down, so I plug my headset into my volume control, my remote volume control, and so I'm listening to it on a headset. But the audio is coming out Logitech 5.1. And whatever you have available on your PC, you'll see all your different options. So these are all different things that, look at that. The speakers on my monitor. Yeah, like I'm going to use that. So we have all these different things, whatever. So the Logitech is great. Desktop audio 2 is disabled. The mic I'm using is an MRO3, which is fairly inexpensive from Amazon, and it sounds, it gives me results for $60 or whatever it cost. Comes with a little boom arm and everything, which does the job. It's not high-end stuff, but once again, I'm not a high-end guy. So you could take a note of that. We've got meters. Fast meter sample peak. So I guess this is quite likely these meters here. I imagine they're talking about. And how do they appear? Do they have, the decay rate and everything on them? Do they tail off fast? Don't know. Not 100% sure, but not worried about it. As this is what works. I believe it's most likely default as well. Advanced monitoring device, cable input, VB audio, virtual cable. Now that's software you can set up. I have it here. I have disable Windows audio ducking on. You might want to check that. I believe that is a good feature to have on. Yeah, whatever. And hotkeys. So I don't have any hotkey set up for any of the audio. I'm not using audio on the Droid Cam or the new one, the eMeet Pico. And push to mute or whatever. I don't have a hotkey because there's a button right on the mic. So yeah, we're all good there. And that's it. So once again, that's the audio end of it. Pretty simple. Video. 2560 1440. Aspect ratio 16:9. That's my monitor. And the output is the same. So there's no downscale filter. So yeah, it says no downscaling required because they're the same. They match. If you have something different, if your base canvas resolution is 1920 by 1080 or whatever it is, and you want to upscale to 2560 1440 or 2K, you can upscale and have your video for when you put it out at a higher, so you know it'll look more, I don't know, like everybody else's. Like I don't see anybody who's gathering in the or pulling in, putting up videos in low resolution. Doesn't seem to be a thing. Common FPS values 60, and that's 60 frames per second. You can go slower if you have problems. Some people say you got to use 59 point whatever, 59. Yeah, well, I just use 60. It's fine. So you would say okay and apply. That's pretty simple. Your hotkeys are like, so streaming. These are keys on the keyboard. Use your keyboard to set these. And then I've got them mapped to my Stream Deck. So all of those are on here. If I want to use them, I don't need to go to the keyboard, but same deal. You can do it however you like. Accessibility, I don't have anything set here. Advanced is where we saw that Remux setting, but process priority is just normal. Direct 3D 11. Color format is probably a default. Like I say, I'm not a guru at this, but if you want similar results to what I get, then here you are. Automatically remuxed MP4. Pretty simple. Stream delay. I've changed it to 5 seconds here. Since I did the last stream, and I'm going to see how that works the next time I stream. By default, it was at 20 seconds. So when you query your viewers, hey, how about this? Or when they're throwing shoes at the screen because I'm doing something goofy and they're trying to get my attention, there's a 20-second delay and it can be pretty tough. So I've reduced it to 5. We'll see how that works in the next live stream on Saturday, I hope. So that's one thing I changed. Automatically reconnect, and it'll retry is every 2 seconds, and maximum retry is 25. So over a period of 50 seconds, it's going to try and reconnect. Could probably make that longer. Yeah, I don't know. Why we go? Oh, let's see. Go 60. That's 2 minutes of retrying. Might work. What are the options here? No, that's just default. This is IP4 and IPv6, which is your Cat5 cable and your network if you're plugged in. And even if you're doing wireless, you're still getting an IPv4 address from your home system. So that probably is not something you can change. And if I was using something different, like a wireless of some sort that wasn't using those protocols, you could probably bind it to an IP that you would have assigned in your home router, and you'd probably have to go do that manually instead of, having a DHCP provided address. What else? Enable browser source hardware acceleration. That sounds like if your browser, if you're playing something in your like Chrome or whatever, and you're recording it, the browser source hardware acceleration sounds like you could perhaps do something with enhancing the frame rate, or not sure. Once again, it's clicked. I haven't touched it that I'm aware of. And free to use these settings. And I have never disabled hotkeys. And I think you might want to have an ability to disable hotkeys if you're doing something in your keyboard and you're going to hit a hotkey. So you're flapping away on the keyboard and all of a sudden you stop recording because you hit that key that you have as stop. So I don't think we can. Oh, we can. Okay, disable hotkeys when main window is focused. So that's interesting. That's probably a good idea, but because I use my main window all the time, I'm going to leave it where it is. Never disable. Yeah, good to know. So that's it there. Let's go. Okay. Before we go into the details here, when your docks, the only thing I really do in here is the chat window. So when I'm going to do a live stream, I pop the chat window out here and your chat appears here automatically. So it's kind of handy. Now let's go to the settings and try and, this is the meat of it here. Like, how do you get this stuff set up and what makes it work? Well, you've got, when you first set this up, you're going to have this thing scenes and you're going to have scene. So I don't have anything in there. Here's my ATS. And now I've learned over time, I used to have this full of things: ATS, ETS, FS 2024, FS 25, Farm Sim, FS 22. And I would have different settings for all of them. And it turns out, in my view, pointlessly. I didn't need to do that just based on how my system is. I just use this one PC. It's got 2 monitors and I do everything from here. So this is the default. Everything happens with this setting. So you need sources for your scene. So if you put a new scene here, and I click that and you give it a name, you could call it test or whatever you're going to use. You put it here. And then once you have that here, you've got sources. We got to add sources to it. I suppose I could show you how if we were to, or we just show you these. Let's go by showing settings. So you need all of these things. You need your desktop audio. So you could, the settings for that are the Logitech 5.5 Realtek. And that's what we saw in settings. So that's got to match what was in here under audio, Realtek. See, so that has to match, and the microphone has to match. So we go back out of here, and we go to the desktop, and the mic setting is that one. So you match those, and you're going to be golden. So that's pretty simple. Now we got display capture 1, and display capture 1, you can't see it right now because I'm using display capture 2, which is my second monitor. If I take this one here and I put it above here, oh, hang on a sec, didn't go up there. There we go. Now you're seeing what's on my other monitor, and I have a video or a live stream paused over there so I can show you this audio input when we get to it. So that's my primary monitor. If I wasn't showing this live stream here, you'd see all my desktop icons and stuff. I didn't really want to show that right now. So I have that video there, and we'll see what we can do with that. We'll move it back down here. We're back to this one. So what that shows is that the hierarchy here matters. So I used to have a Droid Cam. That was the over-shoulder thing, the phone that was really flaky and driving me crazy. Now I've got this little eMeet Pico Plus, and that's what we're using now. But you can see if I put that below this capture, it disappears. So the order matters. Whatever's, it's just like doing a drawing in Paint.net. The upper layer is on top of whatever's beneath it. So that has to be above that or it's not going to show up. So this order is pretty important. These audio tracks are from different sources. These are from different sources. So the display would matter. The audios are separate tracks, but this, and this are in this space. So you got to choose that one or that one. Or I imagine I could do a split screen if I wanted, but I don't want to, and I haven't even looked into it. So to do the display capture, you got your settings, and you've got to go in here. You're going to put it in. You look under your displays available. So capture method, I just use automatic. Oh boy, yep, just automatic. It works. And you have your 2 monitors. So here's my 2 monitors. So that's what we got. So this is my primary monitor, the Dell gaming monitor. And we are on, right now, we're looking at this one. So that's pretty easy to set up. You just cancel it. You would go in here to add and display capture. You would go here, and if you want to create new, you would have to say what it is and give it a name, and then the source is going to be what you have available as displays. So when we went to that the properties here, when you're setting it up, it's going to say display. Well, what display? And it'll sense you got this one or that one, or just one if you only got one monitor, and you select whatever it is. So when you're setting that up, it's pretty simple. Once again, display capture 2 is my second monitor, the Droid Cam. Now I'm going to show you this in here. When you set a Droid Cam up, you got to put the Droid Cam app, Droid Cam for OBS on your Android phone or Android tablet, and you can use it as an over-the-shoulder camera or a secondary input. For whatever reason you want something else, you could have a little like tablet display on here, and you can have stuff going on it. You can have chats that you're getting from your chat feed, whatever, so other people can see it, whatever. You can do all kinds of things with that. However you want to do it, but I'm using it as a camera. So that's the Droid Cam app. So you get that from the Play Store or wherever, or you can Google it and download the app onto your mobile device. And you set the resolution, the video format, whatever, capture. And that's a really old phone I was using. Now you have to set it up with a IP address, and that'll be the IP address the application will show you on your phone or tablet. It'll say, when you look at the settings on the app, it'll tell you what the IP is. So you put it in here and you go activate, and it'll start up. And it's that simple. And then what you do is you place it. I'll show you with the Pico. So this is what we're using now, and its settings. It's plugged directly into the PC. So pretty easy. Oh, resolution 2560 by 1440. Nice. Way better. FPS, highest FPS video frame rate any. And so that's dead easy to, USB-C to USB-C on the PC, and you're done. And with it, now you've got this thing here. I can move it around the screen, and you can change the size of it by dragging it here, here, or here. And this maintains the aspect ratio. That'll make it wider. That can make it shorter. And pretty darn simple. When you want to set that up, you go here and you go, no, sorry, not that. You go here. And what it is a video capture device. So you go in here, our video capture device. It's, if we're going to create a new one, we'd have to give it a new name. When I went in here, I created new, and I made it eMeet Pico. And that's what we use. And once again, this stuff's real simple. If you're having problems with it, cancel. Say okay. And so it's pretty simple. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, we want to go back to the mic while we're here and go with the audio settings. And what's important here is filters. You really, really need to do this. So important. And regardless of what you're using for a mic, and the filters, if we look at them, these are the ones I'm using. I'm not going to explain them here. I'm going to give you a link in the video description to go find the video that I used to set these up. And it takes half an hour maybe, but it's worth it. And what that does, I'm going to show you, you can use, the filters for the mic here. You can see that I very rarely peek into the red. And for the most part, I'm this yellow bit. That's what we got going on. We're above this minimum threshold most of the time, and we're stopping at the upper threshold. And you should have it so you can see something pretty loud, like boom, like hey, and it doesn't go up to the top of the red. And this guy will explain to it all about that. Now I'm going to go over to my other monitor here, and I'm going to turn on the video or the live stream there, and now you can see this. Hey Case, how you doing? So what we got to do is see if we can find work out of here. So just so you see, you can get something running in the background to set this one. And actually my game recordings, it's a little louder. Like it's more like this one where I'm coming up to the top of this, just hitting the red. And you can change this, of course, right here. You can also change the appearance of this. Let's see, where is that? Here? Oh, scene transition. Yikes. How do I go back? Oh, no. Oh, that was dumb. Sources. Let's go. Oh, my God, I'm turning everything off. Scenes. Uh-oh. Oh, that's really bad. Why did I do that? Here, I'm going to pause for a sec while I get it back to where it was. Okay, we got it back. That was goofy. I went to scene collection and I went reset user interface and it brought them all back. So that's good to know. So under scene collection, did it do, I believe it was there. View? Oh, view right here. Reset UI. So if you close those things like I just did, that's how you do it. Wow, glad that didn't take too long to find. Whew. Okay. So now, regarding the audio tracks, this has to match, once again, what you've set up in settings when we're doing the audio there. So you can click on here and go advanced. It's one way of doing it. And I know I have the second item checked here. I don't need that as far as I'm aware. But we're just track one. Everything's on track one. It's super simple. And we're showing active sources only. And in here, you can do the balance of the desktop audio. I don't see I have that with the mic because, I mean, it's just right in front of me and it's one thing. It's not like I have two mics and catching some kind of stereo effect. But there's other sources that we've had in the past, like the Droid Cam, video capture device, yada, yada. And I've tried different things. And by default, they're going to come in here with all these channels active, these other ones. And you'd want to come in here and you would want to, if you're just going to use the one track, you want to turn off all those other ones. You don't want them all going. I don't know why I have that on. I could probably turn that off without any danger. But anyway, we're just using the two tracks. So keeps it simple. Basically it. I don't see a lot else here to show you. Oh, streaming. Yeah. If you're going to, I don't know if I can go manage a broadcast while we're recording. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can. So if you want to stream, so for the recording, all you're going to do is this, it would say start recording instead of stop. You start recording or you use your hotkey. When you're done, you stop. Simple as that. And for streaming, you're going to go in here. And this is kind of a default title that appears, Farm-Along Goggles, whatever. I just changed that to Ride and I changed the date. Welcome to the live stream. You can put something extra in here. Public, category gaming. Not made for kids. That's important. You don't want it made for kids because then you got to go through a bajillion checks and prove that you're not going to do anything harmful to children. And well, my content's pretty generic anyway. I try to keep it family oriented, but I just say, no, it's not made for kids. You do your thumbnail. So you would go to your, whatever you have for a thumbnail repository and put your thumbnail in, excuse me, put that in there and create broadcasts and start streaming. It'll come up. When it starts, the screen will disappear once it started. And then you would go to your docs and you would bring up your chat window, put it over here and wherever, and the chat will start appearing here when it's active. Pretty simple. So basically that's it. That's how I use OBS Studio. And what I'll do is I'll make a video of, oh, wait a minute. I forgot to show you, or did I show you this? If I move that, yeah, I think I did show you that you can move one above the other, and whichever one's above is active as well with that. Anyway, I will make a video of DaVinci Resolve, and I'll edit this video for publication, and I'll show you how that goes and in another video. So hope this helps. And I tend to blather on a bit and everything else. Weed that out. Take what you will from it. And bear in mind, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But over years of experimenting with this, this is where I've ended up. And I've stuck with this for quite a while now, probably a year and a half, 2 years. And it's working. So, as always, I appreciate you following along. Take care and bye for now.